In a GOP primary that's soaked in sins of envy, adultery and lying, to name just a few, let's get right to our panel. Lynn Sweet is Washington bureau chief for the Chicago Sun-Times, and Crystal Ball is an MSNBC contributor and Democratic strategist. And Chris, Nevada holds caucuses instead of a true primary. Romney won it 4 years ago, as you know, with half of his votes coming from Mormons. Would you expect the same result this time around?
Yeah, I think Romney has to be the favorite there, but the one danger for him is that there are very high expectations for him going into Nevada, because as you point out, last time around about 26% of the Republican primary electorate was made up of Mormons, and they went almost 100% for Mitt Romney. So he's the favorite, but he's got to manage his expectations. There hasn't been any polling real recently there, but the last polling had Romney edging out Gingrich by only about 4 points. So it's a lot closer, was a lot closer at least than what people might have expected. Right.
Lynn, in your blog you wrote this, and I'm quoting you: Nevada, like Florida, has been crippled by the collapse of the housing market. The Romney team jammed Gingrich on his consulting contract with Freddie Mac. Romney made it crystal clear Freddie Mac was not going to go away. Will his ties to Freddie Mac be ultimately Gingrich's Achilles heel in Nevada, as it has to some extent been in Florida?
Possibly, because you cannot understate understate how important the housing collapse is in Nevada. And Nevada and Florida are perfect bookends if you want examples of the worst examples of the housing collapse. Now, Nevada is also, another advantage Romney has is that he's already had some advertising buys. The Nevada paper, The Sun, reported that so far Gingrich hasn't bought anything. There are a few days left. Romney had some, and the super PAC supporting him had some very effective ads running. Gingrich has to figure out, if he is going to get past Freddie Mac, a better answer to what he and his company did for the money other than being a historian.
Yes, indeed, because nobody seems to have accepted that explanation, however many times Mr. Gingrich forces it upon us. Crystal, after being...
And it was not in the contract.
Sorry, no, of course, absolutely. After being outspent by more than 4 to 1 in Florida, where will Newt's resources come from, Crystal, if he loses tonight by, say, more than 10 points?
Well, first, I just have to point out, I saw an unbelievable stat related to that, Martin, that 92% of the advertising dollars spent in Florida were for negative ads. 92%, which I just find shocking. But, you know, the big question is Sheldon Adelson or another one of his family members willing to kick a bit more into the super PAC? Newt raised about $5 million, the reports are, in the last quarter, so he has probably enough money in his own campaign to continue flying around the country and going from state to state and throwing out the kind of red meat and talking about Mitt Romney and President Obama's war on religion. So I think he's serious when he says he's going to keep going.
But Crystal, I mean, even a billionaire casino owner's going to look at a double-digit defeat and realize this isn't worth betting on anymore, isn't he?
Well, Sheldon Adelson plays to win, so I don't know. I don't want to get inside his head, but you never know what he's going to do.
And finally, Lynn, I wonder what your thoughts are about money and Newt going forward.
Well, in Nevada, it's a much cheaper media market. You know, Florida's like a whole country. 10 major markets, real expensive. You need millions. You're really battling with about 60,000 Republicans in Nevada. Compare that to more than 600,000 already voted early in Florida. So it's a more intimate process. Ron Paul has prospects. But to look at the longer few months ahead, Newt Gingrich can compete, but he may not be able to compete to win. A lot depends on his strategy for explaining his minuses, knowing that he's going to be hit with more negative advertising. Not enough just to complain about it. The answer, find a solution.
Absolutely.
And Martin, I think it is important what Lynn said about the fact that Ron Paul has been organizing in Nevada and does well in these caucus states, so he could be a factor there as well.
Crystal Ball and Lynn Sweet, thanks so much for joining us.